Welcome to She is Resilient, a podcast for women on their healing journeys who are ready to start living their most authentic and empowered lives outside of survival mode. I'm your host, Tatiana, trauma and somatic therapist, as well as a holistic coach, and I'm on a mission to help more women heal their nervous systems. Each week, me and my guests are going to get real and vulnerable about the experiences that led us to becoming the empowered and resilient women we are today. You'll leave this podcast with the skills, knowledge, and inspiration to start creating the life you deserve. Because if another woman can do it, so can you. Welcome back to another episode of She is Resilient. As you probably already know by the title of this episode, or if you've been following me on Instagram, I have officially left the app. I left the app last week. And at first, it was something that I had just briefly considered, but the more that I thought about it, the more that it just felt right. So the primary reason why I left Instagram was because I truly did not want to be on an app that was owned by a billionaire who doesn't care about me, doesn't care about you, doesn't care about us, and does support Trump. And as much as social media is helpful with sharing resources and building community, it just didn't feel right for me personally. I felt like, okay, I'm boycotting Target, I'm boycotting Amazon, but I'm still using an app that also strongly supports Trump. Like, he was one of the billionaires standing behind Trump at the inauguration. And at this point, these billionaires are going to do anything and everything to continue their agenda of evil and greed. And I just didn't want to be a part of it. Like, I've already seen how they're limiting the words we use on the app. Some people who have been speaking up about the injustices in this country have already been restricted on what they can do on the app. And I feel like it's just going to escalate. I feel like it's just going to get worse. So I left. And I do want to apologize because if you saw my original post about leaving Instagram, I did say I was going to leave by the end of the month. And then I completely deleted my account a few days later. But I think the thing that I realized after announcing that I was leaving the app was that I had a much smaller community than I thought. I had over 4,000 people following my Instagram account. That's a lot of people. And out of those 4,000 people, about 600 people viewed my story where I announced I was leaving Instagram. And in that story, I said, if you want to stay connected, reply with the words, stay connected. Out of those 600 people that saw my story, only about 30-ish people, give or take, replied to my story, telling me that they wanted to stay connected. And I'm not mad about it. I love those people who reached out. Those people are also probably the people who listen to my podcast. So that's you. And I love you and appreciate you so much. But what I do want to say is that the people who wanted to stay connected with me are already the people who are connected to me. The people who wanted to stay connected are already on my email list, are already listening to this podcast. I think there were a handful of people who I was surprised reached out to me because I had never connected with them before, but the majority of the people who reached out to me were already connected to me outside of Instagram. And that made me realize that I didn't want to continue to create content and show up for the people who didn't actually care about what I had to say. The people who cared were paying attention. And like I said, were already part of my community in other ways. And those are the people that I want to show up for. Those are the people that I want to create content for and educate. Not the people who are tapping through my stories just to get through them, right? The people who don't want to hear what I have to say. And so thank you for all of you who reached out. Thank you for all of you who are still here with me. I am going to continue to serve you and make sure that you are getting the support, the education, and the inspiration that you need in your healing journey. So that's why I left before the month was over. I usually follow through with my word when I say something. I stick to it, but for this, it just didn't make sense to me. And also, by the way, side note, I love creating content. It never felt like work to me. I loved making carousel posts. I loved making reels. I loved showing up on stories and talking to you. It definitely was something where I felt like I could just access my creativity and let all of the creative juices flow. So I want to continue to do that on other platforms, and I'm excited for it because with the other platforms, I don't have to compete with the algorithm, right? And I don't have to wonder if my audience is seeing my content or not, right? Like the people who follow my podcast know that there's a new podcast every Monday. And so it's not a hit or miss. It's if people want to listen to my content or view my content, they definitely will. So I'm excited for this new chapter, but I'm not gonna lie, for a moment I did panic after I deleted my Instagram account because I didn't just deactivate it where I can just come back anytime and access all of my content. I permanently deleted my account. So everything is gone. Like if I want to come back to Instagram, I will have to start over from scratch. My content is completely gone. Although I do have some reels that are saved to my phone, so I can reuse those, the ones that I do have on my phone. But for a moment there, I did ask myself after I deleted my Instagram, I was like, what did I just do? Why did I just do that? Why did I delete this? But now it's been a couple days, it feels good. I feel liberated in a way, and it kind of brings me back to pre-Instagram days because I was definitely a late bloomer when it came to Instagram. So I never had a personal Instagram account ever. I only ever had a business Instagram account, and I created my Instagram account in 2020. Hey there, if you're looking for daily somatic practices to add to your toolbox, I'd love to introduce you to my somatic bundle where I guide you through over 30 somatic tools and practices that support your nervous system by creating the safety that your nervous system requires to move out of survival mode. Just click the link in the show notes and you will get immediate access to my library of tools. See you there. So from 2020 to 2023, I had an Instagram account where I only talked about trauma therapy. And then in 2023, I decided that I wanted to offer holistic coaching services. So then I created a brand new account in August of 2023, which is the one that I just deleted. So I've only had this for a little over a year. So I've only really been on social media publicly overall in this way for 4 years. So not having Instagram brings me back to when I would spend more of my time doing other things. And honestly, it's been such a great feeling. So like I said, I'm excited for what's to come, and at the same time, I am starting from scratch on other platforms. So I'm sort of in this period of uncertainty when it comes to promoting my business, which can be a little scary, of course, especially as a business owner. Like I'm a one-woman show. I don't have a team that can help me. And I'm a very, very small business, and I relied tremendously on Instagram to market my services. And so I will need a little extra help from you to get the word out if you can, if it feels aligned. I would absolutely be grateful from the bottom of my heart if you could share out my podcast or my other platforms to get the word out on trauma healing, somatic experiencing, and healing the nervous system, because that's ultimately what I'm here to do. But I can't do that if nobody knows it exists, right? So I'm going to add my new platforms in the show notes so that you have easy access to them. But I'll also tell you what I'm working on. So I recently started a YouTube account, so you can catch me on YouTube. My channel is called Tatiana Schultz, so you can just type in my name, Tatiana Schultz, and you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. And I'll be posting content on there 3 days a week, so you'll see new episodes on YouTube on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And then I also created a Patreon account where you'll see me share more behind the scenes stuff and personal stories and personal reflections on there. And my Patreon handle is also Tatiana Schultz. And then if you don't want to be on YouTube or Patreon, then the other way you can stay connected with me is through my email list. So to get on my email list, you can download my free nervous system guide and you will automatically be part of my email list. And historically, I was only sending out 1 email per week, but since I don't have Instagram anymore, you'll be seeing 2 emails per week on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And I promise you, I will not spam you. I will stick to the 2 days per week and you will not get more than that, and it will be value content. So these emails are there to continue to support you in your healing journey. So it will only be 2 days a week, of course, unless you want more, and if you do, let me know. I always welcome feedback. And lastly, you will continue to get a new podcast episode every Monday. So that is the update on why I left Instagram and what's to come. Like always, I appreciate you so much. Truly, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for being here, and I will see you in the next episode. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you absolutely loved this episode, I would so appreciate it if you subscribed and left a review on Apple Podcast, or take a screenshot and share this episode on social media. The more nervous systems we reach, the more generational cycles we break, and the more we contribute to a kinder and safer world. And if you're looking for somatic healing services, send me a DM and I'd love to chat on how I can support you. I'll see you in the next episode.